You're watching The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ MV Angela Yee, Charlamagne the God. We are The Breakfast Club. We got a special guest in the building.
A legend, man.
A legend.
Show some respect.
Omar Epps.
What's up, my brother?
What's good? What's good?
You know, it's a young man in here. He's 29 years old. Now,
Y'all get into it early?
now, granted, he's married to a white woman.
Come on, man.
He was like,
He said you lying.
yeah, right. He was like, who is Omar Epps? I was like, what?
He's got to get out of here, man.
Like, I don't know if it's the white woman or the youth, but come on, man. Stop.
Yo,
He's
that's
in the wrong
hilarious.
line of work.
So before we get this started, what was your favorite Omar Epps movie, Yee?
Of course, I mean, Juice is always the most memorable. I know that was your first one ever.
Yes.
But that kind of just solidified everything. So when I think Omar Epps, first and foremost, I always think of Juice.
Charlamagne?
Movie? I mean, I like Juice,
But then
also,
Loving Basketball.
I might say The Wood.
But
The
as
Wood?
a
Wood.
girl,
Wood.
Loving Basketball was like
Juice.
Loving Basketball was dope, too.
legendary.
Mine is Juice.
Because that's like a dream relationship. That's like a rom-com, right?
Right. Yeah.
Or a romedy.
Those some good joints.
What was your favorite?
I don't necessarily have a favorite, but there's nothing like the first. So Juice was just magical, bro. Like, it's me, it's Pac, it's Ernest Diggins, it's Sam Jackson, Latifah. Like, and that time frame was just, it was just a magical time for us, the culture, hip hop. Like, it was crazy. I was 17 when I did that joint.
Wow.
I'm in a movie, right?
Starring.
But I'm talking about in real life. Like at that time, I'm living in a movie. Like my life was just happening in a way that's just incredible.
Did it change your life overnight, Juice?
Yeah, it changed my mentally definitely. It changed overnight, but the grind is the grind. So you got to work at it and all of that. But things happen pretty fast. I was just fresh out of high school.
I'm jealous and envious of anybody who got a chance to build with Pac. And Pac always said if you ask 10 different people what they think about Pac, you get 10 different answers. So I'm going to ask you, what did you think about Pac?
Pac was everything that you would imagine he was. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was a powerful, powerful brother. Those people, like, you don't have to be a celebrity. There's people that you meet that have a energy around them, or aura around them that's, like, kind of larger than life.
Absolutely.
He was one of them dudes, where you ain't even have to know. It wasn't about being famous. It was just like, yo, who's this dude, man? And you sit down and you build with him. He was like, yo, this dude is plugged in a whole different way, So it was, and then the rest is history.
A lot of people say Pac, the Thug Life Pac came after he played Bishop. Like he never got out of that character. Did you see a change? Or?
It was a little bit, I think he pushed it a little bit more, but Pac, he was energetic and he was passionate, and he was passionate about the hood, you know what I mean? Because he was a revolutionary with what he came from with his mom, God bless his dead and all of that. But he walked with that, he walked with that revolutionary feel, the knowledge. He was big about, like, whenever, traveling somewhere, it's like you hit the hood first, because that's where the pulse of the people is really at.
Right.
And it's crazy because when I think about it now, it's like part of that mentality is kind of what led to certain things, but that was Pac.
Now, how did you get the starring role in Juice as your first movie, the star?
Yeah. I went to LaGuardia High School Performing Arts.
And he went to school with Marlon Wayans, by the way.
Yeah,
They hated each other at first.
I know he was up here. What?
He was just
Yesterday.
here.
Yeah, that crazy. but so fresh out of high school, auditioning, I was figuring out, should I go to college, or I was one of them, like, I'm gonna take a year off and figure out what I want to do, and got this audition for this movie, and they did it like a cattle call, which is like meaning they seeing
Everybody.
thousands of people or whatever. Went up there and boom, one thing led to the next, and
Now, you tried out for the main role, or did you try for Pac's part, or?
Yeah, well, the way that it worked was originally I went in for the character Q, but they was, because it was 4 people, so they was like, yo, moving things around. All right, well, come back in and read this role. All right, you come back in and read this role. And then they was grouping us together. Like, all right, y'all two come in and read for these. And it was just like this, they was trying to figure out the chemistry. And then they took us to a dinner where it was like 8 of us, because it was 4 main characters, so it was like 8 of us, and I guess they whittled it down to that. Like,
Wow,
all
that's
right,
nerve-wracking.
let's see, and then after that, I'll never forget. This when I used to live in East New York, and I was at the crib one day, dolo, and phone rang. It's before cell phones.
Before cell phone.
Yeah.
The house phone
So
with
you
the
was at the
cord.
house literally waiting on that call.
at the house.
Not waiting, but just at the crib.
Yeah.
Phone ring, it's Ernest Dickerson. He was like, hey, what's up, brother? Then I was like, yo, what's going on? He was like, well, I want to tell you got the role. I was like, word? I was like, yo, thank you, just, grateful. We hung up, called moms. Yo, Ma, I got the role. My mom was like, oh, yeah, that's cool. Like, you know what I mean? Because it was,
She never expected it was gonna be that big.
yeah, and my mom's, it didn't hit her until we was at the premiere Juice, and we was sitting like a seat away from Diana Ross. That's when I see my mom's was like, yo.
This is
Diana Ross was at the premiere, Juice.
Yeah, man.
Really?
Diana
big
Ross.
deal.
Wow.
Yeah, you see Tracy.
Yeah. How much you got paid for that? 5,000?
12,000.
12,000.
$12,000.
Wow.
But 12,000 to a 17-year-old kid
A lot of money.
from Brooklyn, you like,
That's everything.
you thinking that's like 120. You like, yo, I'm getting the whip. You don't know, you know what I'm saying?
Any royalties or any of that? Or
You
no?
probably still owe taxes on it.
No. No. I take care of my taxes.
What I like about your early story is you talk about the confidence that you had. Like, you knew you were going to get into LaGuardia. And it kind of is like, sometimes we get so nervous, we talk ourselves out of things.
Yeah.
But you just knew it. And then you knew going in, I'm going to get this role, I'm going to make this happen. And you're very humble about addressing, like, you just were on the train, going to go to the movie and everything. And even afterward, $12,000 is like, people thought you were rich.
Yeah.
After seeing you in
Hell
Juice, they
yeah.
assume, well, he's starring in a movie. Everybody knows him.
Yeah, they think that, and I mean that people still have that perception when they see people get on and on. But for me, it was all, it was about the marathon. You know what I mean? Like, I think being so young, I think when you're young, your naivete shields you from the realities of the business. You know what I mean? You're young, you thinking like, this is what it's gonna be.
You just happy to be popping. People know you.
Yeah, people know you, but for me, going back to that craft part, like, my hero was Sidney Poitier growing up as far as acting. So, looking at his history and all of that, it was just like, that's the path. I wanted to carve my own path, but in that way. And, our culture, hip hop is of that time. So I'm feeling like, oh, it's popping, but it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. So I wasn't solely focused on this one moment. It was like, all right, how do I make this breathe? How I stretch this out. Because, in what I do, as far as acting, it's like, it's tough to make a living out of this.
You've been doing it for over 2 decades now,
for
though.
so long.
Yeah, and I'm blessed.
Yeah.
I'm blessed. That ain't nothing but the grace of God, but it's tough.
You got to stay working.
I'm going to change
You know what
my
I mean?
movie, too, my favorite Omar Epps movie. I just thought about what my favorite Omar Epps movie is.
What's that?
What?
In Too Deep.
All right.
In Too Deep is
I
my
went to
favorite
that
Omar Epps
premiere.
movie.
You want to hear something funny?
You went to
That
that
is an
premiere?
underrated classic.
Okay, so
Thank
my
you,
boy
brother.
Gano Grills was in that, right?
Yeah.
And he's the one in the scene where with the pool stick.
Yes, I know.
So I just remember.
He
I
don't
was,
want
got
you
the
saying
pool
that
stick?
right now.
No, because I was sitting next to him when it happened in the movie theater, and I just remember when that was happening. I looked.
You
It was
love
mad
it. You
awkward.
love it. Say you love it.
It was so awkward.
Yo, L did his thing in that movie, yo.
He did get busy.
He got busy, and because he
was
really wanted to
crazy.
show he had the chops. Gano wasn't really feeling that.
I know, he was sitting
the
right next to
concept
me.
of that when it was like, because L was like, nah, we're gonna do it. I want to do this. That wasn't like written into the script.
No, wait a minute. Wait
Nah.
a minute.
He is a savage. Who
No, but
thinks
that's
of that?
crazy.
Wait a minute.
But that's what you do as an actor. It's like, yo, this is how you could take this moment, take that moment, whatever. So I just thought he was just like, this is how gangster this
That was
dude
on the
is.
right side of the stick, though. Like,
God.
Yeah, well, of course.
Gano was
That's
probably like,
what I'm
this is not
saying.
in the
Gano was like,
script.
Oh, so that was LL's idea. How did
Yeah,
he convince the director and everybody and the guy to
The
lay
other
down
actor.
on the pool?
Because we was in that flow, like you trying to create that authenticity,
Right.
and I believe Michael Rymer directed. He didn't know our world like that, so it was just like, nah, he flow like this or flow like that. So
So that was a great moment for L.
absolutely,
I mean, because just that scene was ill. That's a memorable scene.
most of the memorable scenes you see in any movie come from moments like that, where it's the artist like either improvising or they've crafted something like we're gonna take it this way, take it that way, and then people are just in the moment because essentially that's what it is. You're living in the moment.
Hey, LL, salute to you, man. You a legend. Please, I don't want no problems, okay? Clearly, you are a master of torture.
What up, Al?
Now, the name of your book is From Fatherless to Fatherhood.
Yeah.
You did all of this without a dad being in your life.
Yeah.
So now, how strong is your mom or how strong is your family to keep you on that right road to teaching you how to be a man?
I wouldn't be here without moms. My mom's was educated in the Board of Ed for 30 years. Everybody from New York, if that was around in that time, who my mom's is. She taught a lot of people, and she's just an incredible human being. And but yeah, I grew up without my father, and when I was a kid, that was normal. It still is normal,
Right.
and that's why I wrote the book. To try to change the narrative. I know you. I salute to you, by the way. You out there with your kids holding it down.
5 of them, that's right.
You feel what I'm saying? And that's a beautiful thing. And I love the way that you display that. You know what I mean? Because in me writing the book, it's like, for real, like if we in the barbershop and you got kids?
2. Yeah.
Oh, I
one
ain't
on the
know
way.
that. Oh, okay.
2 girls.
Congratulations.
2 girls, another girl on the way.
Get your gun.
I was a hoe in the past life. Yeah.
Especially you. You talking all that?
Yeah.
It's a dude grooming his sons right now.
And my daughter.
Like your specific targets. Nah.
Charlamagne's doing it.
Yeah, nah. But salute to you as well, brother.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Damn, I just lost my train of thought. I didn't know you had kids.
Yeah.
But nah, just the way you displaying it, changing the narrative. So if we in the barbershop, right, and we 22, 23, 25, whatever, and we know homie ain't holding down his C's, you lame.
That's
Now,
real.
We don't respect that no more
100%.
amongst the brothers.
Right.
We don't respect that. So that's part of the reason why I wrote the book. And the concept came from a moment I had with my son. We all working here, and especially as men, if you work in family, it's hard. And I had a 15-hour day one day. I came home. I just wanted to go to sleep. Wifey was like, "Yo, he's still up, whatever." And I'm like, "All right." And a thought went through my head like, at least I'm here, And of course, I love my kids to death and all of that. But I'm like,
that's not enough.
It kept echoing in my head, like, where'd that come from? And I went on a journey to try to discover the origins of that, because I questioned whether growing up without a father had somehow crept into my fatherhood, And I just started writing, and halfway through, I was like, man, maybe my story could be used as a tool of inspiration to others.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so that when I'm talking about changing the narrative, because we've made massive strides. Y'all have people in here with the statistics and all of that. The black community and black men. We've made massive strides, but I'm in the streets. It's a lot of cats that's still not holding it down.
Yeah.
So how do we really, shift that? How do we change that narrative to where, almost making it like a trend?
I think what you said, showing and proving. You know what I'm saying? Just seeing men with their kids and displaying their kids and loving their kids and being proud to be fathers and talking about being with their children.
Right. That's it.
You said
That's
something
start.
interesting too. You said that the absence of having a father crept into your fatherhood. Was like you didn't know how to be a father. You think?
No, not that I didn't know how to be a father, but thinking of the
financial is not equal to the time that you spend.
No, not at all.
Your
But
kids,
thinking about
right.
the subtleties and the nuances of just parenthood, even motherhood in general. I think that women are natural. Y'all have a natural connection to that maternal thing.
I agree.
That's just my
I
opinion.
always say fathers don't become fathers till the kids get here. Mothers become mothers as soon as they're in the womb carrying the baby.
Yeah, and even, I would maybe even before then. Like it's just in society, just the way that women are naturally maternal, even little girls, and always taking care of, and as men, the way the societal construct is, it's like we're kind of disconnected from that. Like there's this big movement now, like in other cultures where it's like men having skin to skin contact with the infant. You know what I mean? And they're like breaking that down and making it a thing. And for me, I'm just like, that's natural, right? Like,
It should be.
Who wouldn't want to hold their child and
Yeah,
hold their baby?
absolutely.
So it's you know, it's a thing, but it don't have to always be a thing. And we could sit here and you could have, you know, the doctors with the PhDs talk about, well, where does it come from? We here now. Like we acknowledge that. We see this, we see that, but what are we gonna do about it? You know what I mean? What can the people out there, whether you brothers that don't have kids, brothers that do, men that have gone astray from their fatherhood, speaking to them, it's about the power of choice. It's always at your disposal. So, you know, everybody make mistakes, but how do you get back on track? And so you got to have the courage to do that. And you got to have the patience to recognize that, you know, this woman is hurt. You know, there may be some scorn there. There may be some this. And then even for the woman piece, there has to be forgiveness. Because when two people, I don't think a lot of people think about this in this way. When two people decide to have a child, right? They're making a lifelong commitment to the other person.
Right.
Not just the child.
Right.
Because y'all are going to have this creation for the rest of your life. You know, so when you think about it in that way, you have to hold that relationship no matter what happens. If it dissolves, if it goes this way, goes that way, y'all still have this responsibility. So there's a respect you have to have for that other person.
With your first daughter, was it a choice? Like, did you guys decide we're going to have a child, or she got okay? So that was a decision. Yeah. And you thought you would be together.
If I made them mistakes, I'd be.
It's 5, 7 kids.
Yeah. I was about to say I'd be like ODB. But all my kids was born out of love, and my oldest daughter's mom's, you know, God bless her dad, she passed away, but we wanted to have our child. And even within that, you know, I speak about that in the book, like that's something I never considered was a possibility.
Yeah, like she not being there.
My oldest daughter's mother. Yeah. That's just never even crossed my mind.
How was that raising her with no mom around? Because you had to be the mom and the dad.
It's tough, you know, because that's her mother and she's still going through that. That's a daily thing. It's a void that can never be, you know. But, you know, you stay prayed up, obviously. And she was, you know, I tell her, hey, you was blessed to have her for the years you had her. And that's what you have to hold on to, because, you know, there's some people out there that didn't have that.
Right.
You know, and that's a blessing that I got from my mom, just watching her growing up, watching her, you know, teach in these public schools at an early age. I always learned, like, there's always somebody that don't have. So when I'm like a little kid, like, man, I ain't got ColecoVision and I ain't got the shell toes, but, you know, I go see my mom's and it's like, damn, this kid's parents is on crack or and burnt down the house or something, you know, something crazy that I couldn't even fathom. So I always learn to be thankful for what I have.
What do you do for her on Mother's Day?
Well, it depends on what she want to do. You know what I mean? Like, and because this is all recent. This is only just a couple of years, but, you know, we give her the space like, yo, you want to do something or you want to chill or, you know, but we have our own little thing, and wifey's incredible. She bought this huge like candle and kind of like, yo, that represents her. So
dope. You
know what I mean? Just incredible.
Is it true you only spent 4 days total with your father in your whole life?
Yeah.
Wow.
Damn. I only met my pops once when I was 12 years old.
But you seen him. You drove past him and you seen him.
Yeah. Well, that was later.
Yeah, later.
Yeah.
Right.
That was a movie too. That was like a movie. So I met my pops when I was 12, 4 days, and then after that he was absent again. So skip forward, 18, 19. It was on my second movie. I had the BM 325. This is when that was like a Phantom.
I just bought one like 2 weeks ago.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm riding down Rogers Avenue in Brooklyn.
I bought 88.
Wow. And I got a shorty with me. We go past the mosque on Fulton because my father was Muslim. Pull up to the red light, and it's a dude on the corner selling incense and books. And I look over, and it's my pops. And I'm like, yo, see that dude right there? Man, I was a spitting image of my father. So I told
you're the spitting image of Mike Tomlin, but go ahead.
Me and him got to take a picture to dispel this rumor. But yeah, I seen him and I'm like, yo, that's my pop. And Shorty started bugging out. She was like, yo, you're not gonna say nothing to him? And I was like 9. I'm just looking, behind the tinted windows. I'm just looking like, yo. And green light, I just skated off.
See,
but
I
I unpacked that a little in the book too, that moment. But that's crazy that even happened, man.
Do you think he had any influence on you and how you turned out? Like,
I think genetically, obviously, I think, a bit mentally, you get something. It's a physiological thing, right? It's passed on to you. But I also had and I would call it the pleasure of trying to build with him. So my oldest daughter's mother was Muslim. Like, speak Arabic, all of that. Her brother, Freddie Fox, can attest to it. I know that was a weird throw out, but he can attest to what I'm telling you. So her brother used to go to the mosque with my father. And so one day he hits me out the blue. So when I meet my pops when I'm 12, my little sister is 6 weeks old from his girlfriend at the time. I'm 21. My oldest daughter's brother calls me like, yo, I just made Juma with your pops and all of that. And I always knew I had a little sister out there. So I'm like, all right, let me, give me his joints. Reach out, try to connect with him, whatever. But that was really just to connect with my sister. I did that, been in her life ever since. Then when I'm 25, try to reach back out. When I'm 29, try to reach back out. So throughout my life up until, and God bless his dead, my pops just passed recently too. I tried to not make amends, but build a relationship.
Right.
Because
he just didn't want that relationship.
I don't know, bro. I can't say he didn't want it. I don't think he knew how to have it.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Because at that point, I'm, the fame and the this, but I told him I forgave him. You know what I mean? And we're here for a reason. With the fact that we still here living, like there's something here. Let's figure that out. And I also told him, you got your own story. I don't know what led you to, you know what I mean? What's your story? But I learned like relationships have to be a dialogue. It can't be a monologue.
Right.
And I feel like with him, at least in my experience with him, things would get to a certain point and then he would just cut off. Like it would stop. So I don't know what that was about.
Maybe the guilt would get to him. Maybe that guilt made it hard for him to look you in the eye and really have conversations with you because you got to answer those tough questions of why he wasn't there.
Yeah.
Can I ask you this, scene, being that you spent only those 4 days with him, there's a lot of women who don't know how to deal with the situation when the father is not around and in and out of their life. And then sometimes say he comes back, and your son is, her son is 12 and the dad wants to spend time and she doesn't know, should I let my child go because I don't want them to be disappointed and I don't want to set things up and then it hurts the child later on more. Do you think it hurts you more to spend those 4 days and then nothing happened, or do you think that's
a great question and it's a great pattern of thought. For me, I think that depends on the individual and I think that depends on their environment. For me, it didn't really hurt me in that way because my mom's was just that ill. You know what I mean? The love and sense of self-worth that my mother instilled in me at a very young age is the only reason why I'm here. You know what I mean? I mean, just in totality, just outside of the father piece. Like when I was young, it was like my mom's was like, this is before everybody walking around saying, "What up, King?" And this years before all of that. My mom's would put that in me. You a king, you a this, you that. So I felt worthy. I felt valued. And I think if a child has that, they can navigate that experience. But on a selfish level, yeah, there was disappointment.
Because for your little sister, he was more in and out of her life.
No, he was in and out of all his kids' lives.
Right.
Because it was other kids. And I unpacked this in the book too. Like for me, that was disappointing because I was his oldest child and I felt like I was willing to be the guinea pig. You know what I mean? Like I would have respected it more. Like you wasn't in my life, but your other kids, you got it together. All right, you figured it out. People make mistakes. But to then continue on the pattern, that's when it's just like, word, like you just choosing this.
So Pops was a Rolling Stone. He had like mad kids out there.
Yeah, Pops had he got a son in Atlanta. I tell you something crazy. We we found out we had a sister that passed in the Iraq War.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey,
crazy.
Mike Tomlin's only 46. Just throwing that out there. It's possible.
It's possible.
Now,
Me and Mike Epps ain't related though. We spoke.
Oh, y'all ain't related?
Now we spoke. It was like, where you from? Where you from? Well, what's your? All right.
Now you said your father died and you never got to say goodbye, but you wrote you found peace in that relationship. Like, how did you find the peace?
I had the peace years ago.
Okay.
Because as I said, like I you can't fabricate what's real. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I had tried to reach out to him and tried to build this some sort of relationship with him throughout the years, and I found peace with this. Just is what it is. You know what I mean? So, you know, let it be. This is what it is. That's not on me. That's on him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A lot of times, I think with different situations, you know, we take things so personal, but it's like we don't have to carry that energy. If that person's making that decision, that's on them. You know what I mean? As long as we moving from a space of love, it's all good.
Now, you speak about your mom a lot. Was she the reason you didn't get caught up in the streets of Brooklyn? Because you was around the hoodlums and the hooligans.
Yeah. Mom Dukes was, like I said, and I think we need to do this more with our children and our community. Is like a lot of these kids don't feel valued, man.
Mm-hmm.
Think about that. They don't feel of worth to anything. So when you don't feel like that, at the end of the day, if you a shorty and you like, well, ain't nobody gonna miss me anyway, or whatever, you know, when you having those thoughts, then you're likely to put yourself in really bad situations and make bad decisions. And for me, you know, I always felt a sense of value. Like I knew my mother loved me, and I knew, you know, that life is gonna work out. Because I knew I was gonna be successful, whatever. Now, I'm not talking about fame. I'm saying if I was a teacher or whatever it was,
Right.
I was gonna achieve that. So it was like, yo, I'm setting my life up for that. So, and I also had I spoke to Marlon, but you know, Marlon's my bro. We have a small circle, a brotherhood that's so powerful. Everybody doing their thing in their life, but from when we were shorties, we would hold each other accountable. Like, yo, you better than that. What you doing?
Yeah.
We don't do
That's
that over
dope.
here. What you doing?
And that's what's missing now. I don't think kids are doing it, and I think that's also because there's a lot of fathers that are not around,
Exactly.
not guiding these kids and saying,
Exactly.
nah, you don't need to be doing that.
You said something real key just now that I don't want people to miss. You said that you knew you was gonna be successful, but then you said it didn't matter. Like not even just in entertainment. Even if I was a teacher,
Yeah.
I think we have this concept in America that success is only celebrity or fame.
Only
nowadays.
fame, yep.
Nah. And what, yo, it's crazy as you say that, because what is celebrity nowadays?
Nothing.
You know what I'm saying?
100,000
Lot of
Instagram
followers.
A
followers.
million Instagram followers.
That's what I'm saying. But success is achievement. You know, the look all that fame and stuff, that's the illusion. You know what I'm saying?
Success could be volunteering your life to help other people.
Exactly. And being successful at that. Being one of those people, like my mom's being a teacher in the public school system, right? And she went on to be deputy superintendent and all of that. But when Juice first came out, and this is real talk, when Juice first came out in New York, more people would come up to me and be like, yo, you Bonnie F son? Yo, tell her Big Head Craig said what's up or whatever, and if it wasn't for this moment when she told me this, yo, I'm good now. I'm doing this. So I drive a bus. So I'm a teacher now. I work here. More people came up to me talking about moms than, yo, you was in this movie or whatever. You know, so when I learned that, like, wow, it's really about giving. You know what I mean? When you have it, it's the transfer of the information. And if you can influence somebody for the better, you know, that's what it's all about. That's success. You know what I mean? So it's like, and it's not even success. We think it's money. Nah, it ain't money.
Nah, it's who you help. To me, it's service to others. That's why teachers
Exactly.
are like some of the best, most successful people. My mom was a teacher for over 30 years too.
So you know what it is.
100%.
Yeah.
She was an English teacher in South Carolina.
And I think it's also the core people, like you said. You had a very tight core of people around you that actually helped you, because you guys can encourage each other to do things.
Exactly.
And you know what? It's funny. I see Marlon Wayans is always very consistent, because you said in the book he would point at homeless people and be like, "Is that your dad?
Right.
Is that your dad?" So obnoxious.
That's right.
Very consistent with who Marlon Wayans is as a person.
How many times did y'all fight?
We that's how we got cool.
I got figured.
Y'all didn't get along, right?
That's how we got
You gotta
cool.
fight 'em.
We were supposed to have this fight that never happened, and then we end up getting into like a tussling thing. But nah, we never had a
You
fight.
was gonna
But
fight him with all those brothers?
yeah, well, I ain't, I had East New York with me. I'm like, well, hey.
You said you guys wrestled though. It
We
wasn't.
that's what it turned into, and then we kind of got into a stalemate. It was like, yo, you let go. Now you let go.
Both
now
of y'all
you.
tired.
And then we, we've been thick as thieves ever since. But nah, that piece is real. Like Marlon been the same. I tell people, I'm like, nah, that's actually him. Like when we was little kids in high school, he was the same person. Like he's like so you imagine like when there's no fame attached, it was more enjoyable in the sense. But we on the trains, or we going here, or kids in school try to snap like word, y'all trying to. He's the same dude, man.
Why didn't y'all get along? Because he was clown too much?
Nah, we didn't get along initially because I'm from Brooklyn, he's from Manhattan, so we used to like that's soft anyway. Like you come from Brooklyn, you like these cats or whatever. And then he had a more diverse like circle. For me it was just all black people. He knew like well I knew a couple of like Spanish people, but he had like white friends, But back then we looking like. So then that's more.
He was sellout.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then so it wasn't nothing but that. I think it was the strength. We both had a strength that we was too young to recognize.
Right.
You know what I mean? In each other. And once we found that, like, we yoked like equally. You know what I mean? The respect was there, and we've been pushing each other ever since, man. Like just pushing each other, like, and these cats out here. It's about that. When it come to that manhood. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be when he win, I win. Mm-hmm. If I win, he win. But we been like that since I was 12 years old. Ain't no jealousy, ain't no hate. You know what I'm saying? These cats out here is faking yo, bro, Nick, stop faking that. Be real about it. Cause at the end of the day, in real life, if something go down, I'm jumping in front of that. For my bro, like for real. You know what I'm saying?
Word.
And these cats is out here now, we got almost 30 years of this. We done been through it. You know what I mean? So at a young age, you can have that power, but you got to see it in the people who are worthy. You know what I'm saying? If your brother's pushing you like, and I'm saying this in the sense of when I would go off track, him and my other brothers, they would sit me down. Yo, what are you doing? Where's your head at?
Holding you accountable.
Holding me accountable. I ain't want to hear that. I'll be screaming at him. Oh, y'all, I'll be all of that. But when that moment passes, I'm like, damn, these dudes actually care about me.
Right.
Actually really love me, and I know I'm doing wrong right now. What am I doing? You need those moments, and you need the people around you to support.
All of that's good, but do you retweet his show when it's on? Do you retweet that Marlon's coming on NBC?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure.
Yeah. What do
that's what's important nowadays.
You are the petty king.
I know you want to jump in front of bullets and all that, but are you retweeting the show? All right.
Now, what happened with the rap career? Because you and your cousin were in a rap crew.
Yeah.
The Wolfpack. He actually came to my basement, my mama's house.
You
to
remember
do a
that?
freestyle. Yep, absolutely.
Do you remember that?
Absolutely.
You still have that?
Yeah. I still
Was
got
he
it.
any good?
He was all right.
That was decent.
This is back in the ADAT days. I was surprised he came to the crib because it was such a big thing. Because this was after all these movies came out, so he was on fire.
What era was this? This after Juice, after The Wood, and all?
This is in that era.
Mm-hmm.
And you wanted to rap after all that success?
Nah, I've been rapping my whole life, but I feel like if this was now, then everybody would hear the music because it was so easy.
They would.
You know what I mean? Then they still had the gatekeepers, and to your point, like I'm on over here, so I don't need to do it the way y'all want me. Like that's not who they wanted. Do this, do that, do this. And because I was so young and it was happening, there was a wisp of arrogance. Like Kev Lyles was like, I'm going to put you in the studio with Primo to do 4 joints. And I was like, nah, my man's got to do the tracks.
Right.
Because I'm a loyal dude.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
gosh.
I'm missing the opportunity. Like, and shout out to Primo, legend.
How you shit on Primo?
That's crazy.
I was just loyal.
Primo. Nah, my man.
My man.
I'm a lawyer. I'm like, my man.
You could have got on and put your man on.
Oh, yeah, I know.
You know what? This would be a great movie. Bring the Wolfpack back together.
The Wolfpack.
Yo, question: did you ever feel a way because you were probably an actor that they told, nah, you were acting on rap, but all the rappers were acting?
Nah, I didn't really feel a way like that. I just felt like, why is nobody getting it? You know what I'm saying? Like, I think there's no comparison. I'm saying like part of the reason Drake is so successful because he got that. He got that other thing. He's an artist. Right?
Yeah.
Right? But he got, obviously, he's an actor, but he got that other, he's working another muscle behind the music.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I was kind of feeling the same way, but that was the gatekeeper era. Like, yo, you got to come through here. Now you could just put it to the world and let the people decide.
Where's
you know
everybody else from the crew now?
Everybody living, man.
Nobody ever like went on to keep on rapping and.
Nah, everybody ended up like, we getting jobs.
That's funny. Romany and Mako was in the group too, but they had that one song, "Victim of the Ghetto."
Romany, yeah.
Romany was in your group?
No, he was in a different group.
Look at this
but
dude.
He's from Brooklyn.
Look at him. He's running with it.
I'm trying to figure out who's in the Wolfpack.
Nah, it's my cousin OG. And yeah, man. But the music is always in me, man. So,
Can we Google any of this music, or it's not available anywhere?
Nah, I got all the music.
I got a couple freestyles.
Oh, well, let's put it on right now. What you want to hear?
You still got them?
I still got my mama's house.
Now you one of the guys who achieved success amongst your people, but also on mainstream shows like House and ER, and now Shooters. Yeah. What's the difference between productions like that and like Juice, I guess?
That's an interesting. There's really no difference in the production. I mean, it's less about the whether it's, you want to call it urban or mainstream. It's more about the budget. Mm-hmm. There's a difference between
taking a train to work.
A $3 million movie and a $20 million movie.
Yeah.
But that's really the only difference. But it's man, that's been such a blessing too. You want your voice to be heard as many places as possible. It's like if you're a musician, it's like you want everybody to hear your music. Mm-hmm. That's why you recording the song. And what I do, it's the same thing. And so I've been fortunate that a lot of the things that I've done have sort of traversed genres, if you want to call it that. You know what I mean? Like people, it's funny because people's catching on the Shooter now, like, yo, this joint is dope. I'm like, yeah.
I used to like Resurrection. Why the hell ain't bring Resurrection back? That show was dope.
Thank you, brother. Somebody just asked me that. That was all politics behind the scenes. It wasn't about like the numbers was there and this, that, and the other, but behind the scenes, they couldn't get it together.
You can't give a show like Resurrection one season. It's called Resurrection. At least give it two.
They got a
We had two.
Resurrection.
It was two. Yeah, it was two.
We had two. Somebody literally just asked me about that. That was written by Jason Mott. It's an African-American author. That show was based on his book.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
The Cosby Show had a real impact on your life too, right?
Yeah. That's the first time I saw a functional black family that was happy. Mm. I unpacked this stuff in the book too, as far as imagery and how powerful it is, especially to us growing up. The first time, just if you growing up I was growing up in the hood, no father in the crib, and then Good Times is on. It's like, oh, they live in the projects and the pops is home. Even though he was struggling in this, and then the Cosby Show, it's like, yo, they got the brownstone in Brooklyn. He's a doctor to this, and I'm like, I can do that. Mm-hmm. Whatever version. Mm-hmm. But the key with that was they were happy.
Right.
Word.
You know what I'm saying? Because with Good Times, it was always
struggling.
They were still happy too, though.
They was happy in moments, but then they killed Pops. So it was just like, yeah, we never gonna get over it. But so and that's what I say it in the book. It's like a piece of my childhood died with all this Cosby stuff, but I don't have to connect to that. I connect to the Cosby Show.
The Huxtable.
Yeah, absolutely.
Incredible.
I was watching reruns of Good Times this weekend, and I said to myself, I don't think there's ever been a more black, socially conscious show on television than Good Times.
Michael?
What? Militant Midget? Because they just went through everything. Poor, disenfranchised, and then it was the fatherless seasons. It was just, I think it was dope.
You know what's crazy is, so when I was about, I want to say 12, 13, I used to deliver pieces. This is when I lived in Clinton Hill in Brooklyn. I go to LG Projects. I'm delivering a pizza. Dude open the door. It's Michael.
Really?
I was like, yo, I'm a little shorty. Yo, can I get your autograph? It was Michael from Good Time.
It didn't even dawn on you, like, why is Michael living in the projects in real life?
Nah, it didn't. It didn't, but that's how crazy this life be, man.
Wow.
This life is crazy.
He died, I think, didn't he?
He did?
He didn't?
Look at him starting this guy.
Why would you say that?
My goodness.
Michael.
Jeez,
My bad.
Can we Google his real name? I don't know.
Ralph Ralph Carter. Okay.
Salute to Ralph Carter.
Salute
Who
to
is
Ralph
still
Carter. My
alive.
bad,
Who's
Ralph.
still-
You're
This
more than
guy
welcome
is-
to come.
How do y'all do it with this guy every day?
Crazy.
This book seemed like a therapy session for yourself. Like you were giving yourself your own therapy as to why, you know.
What you mean by that?
Like it felt like a a lot of the why am I acting like this, and like why do I behave this way? Why is society like this? It kind of felt like you were a therapist, but for yourself.
A lot of
Just,
self-reflection.
like you said, a lot of unpacking.
Yeah, that's
things.
interesting. It wasn't in the process of writing it. It wasn't that. That's interesting that you say that. I guess it was in a sense, but it didn't feel like that. Because I wasn't writing it from that point of view. It's like, for me, the challenging thing was to like the details, right? Like if I asked you, yo, tell me about yourself, you wouldn't even know, but you would give me the cliff notes, and I'll be like, wait, but from here to here, how'd you do that? And that, so all of these subtleties and details, that was a challenging part for me to like speak. It's just weird to speak about yourself, but to speak about yourself in third person enough to, you're looking at yourself as a subject.
You analyzed yourself.
Yeah,
basically.
exactly.
Did you go to a therapist? Or?
Nah.
Never?
No, I have. I have
yeah.
before, yeah. In life, like with certain family issues and stuff, but I'm not against that.
I love it. I go every week.
Really?
Hell yeah.
You need it.
He needs
Yes,
it.
I do. I do.
Yeah.
Yes, I do. Yeah, you keep saying the word unpack. I'm like, that's my favorite word of 2018. Unpack, unpack.
No. I think it's depending on what you're going through. It's necessary. There's, sometimes you need to speak without feeling judged. And speak to someone who doesn't have anything to gain or lose in that sense.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So you can just
Doesn't know the world you come from, nothing.
Yeah. And a lot of times when you get it, when you're just saying something outside of your head, it's like you can kind of get a different viewpoint on the situation. Like,
100%.
yeah. So I'm not against that at all.
Well, the book is out right now. You got one more question?
Yeah, I want to know, because you come from that renaissance of Black Star Power, and we're in another one now.
Yes, we are.
But I don't know if we necessarily have those movies that feel like those 90s movies. You think it's possible to get like that feel again?
It's happening as we speak.
All right.
It's happening.
I see it more in TV and film.
It's coming though. In their own ways. It'll be the feel of this time. But I think the ultimate is like get into like Black Panther.
Yeah.
Because even in the 90s, it was like trying to build to something like, hey, we can do this. You know what I mean? And yeah, it's an IP and it's a Marvel thing, it's whatever, but it's the opportunity to take people of color, right, in this tent pole thing and let us show you what it does throughout the world. Because right now, it's such a diverse time. So you're gonna have your Moonlights, you're gonna have your Mudbound, you're gonna have your, to you, because of you, that might not feel like it was, but that's what it's feeling like to this generation.
Got you.
You know what I mean?
feel you.
So they're coming, and I do agree it's happening more on TV because it's just it's harder to put asses in the seats in theaters. These kids is inundated 24/7 with information, and you can't keep their attention span, and so the profit margin is a lot smaller. It's harder to make movies that make money, but on television, you can just roll that out, and if they catch it, then you got a wave. So I think it's happening as we speak. You got Barry Jenkins, you got Lena Waithe, you got Ava. You got, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got Ryan Coogler, who I'm just so proud of this brother. You know what I mean? He went from Fruitvale Station to Creed to Black, like that trajectory is crazy.
Right.
You know what I mean? He's only on his third joint.
That's
That's
got to be
incredible.
pressure too.
It's pressure, but he handling it.
You're doing it well.
Man, he's delivering what they need, which is profit.
All right.
So
Do you have any guilty pleasures that you watch on TV? You and Keisha sit at home and be like, man, this is crazy we watching this, but I'm entertained by it.
guilty pleasure. Well, everybody watch Love and Hip Hop. You can't not watch that. She be having. I have to watch it because when she's watching it with Claws,
Okay,
which
Claws
I
is a
actually
great show on
enjoy.
TNT. That's a good show.
yeah, I'll be sitting there like, yo, this is dope. This is kind of dope. Karrueche doing her thing.
Yeah, I like that.
I don't. That's you know how you're forced as a man. There's certain
watch
shows.
it.
You don't try to get them to
I got
co-sign.
no girlfriends. Like, I
Don't
have
try to
girlfriends
get them to
'cause of my wife.
co-sign that you like loving him.
No, I'm just saying.
You gotta watch.
I watch all that Queen
Certain
Sugar.
shows-
I watch all that because of my wife.
This is not my choice. This is what's on right now. All right, let me just make some popcorn and then you end
then
up
you
getting
get
into it. Yeah.
All right. Well, the book is out right now, From Fatherless to Fatherhood, and we appreciate you for joining us.
Appreciate
Sir,
y'all,
the
man. All
legend,
love.
Omar Epps.
That's right. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.